The crew was able to make the rest of the journey without incident, arriving in New Orleans in May of 1831. The young men must have had a thrill a minute to see the activity and throngs of people there. It was a booming time for the town, with bustling commerce drawing crowds of merchants from practically all over the world at that time. No other area was growing at such a rate. The population was diverse. Creoles and Americans prevailed, with Germans, French, Spanish, Negroes, and Indians also thrown into the mix. How the sounds of the different languages must have tickled Lincoln's ears. The newness alone must have been more than he could even comprehend. The boat was tied up with literally thousands of others. It was said that one could walk a mile or more stepping on top of boats before ever touching the shore. There is no doubt that Abraham would have been sharply impressed by all he saw. Among the sights and sounds, he was sure to have seen Negro slaves walking the streets, some in chains on their way to the dreadful slave market. Abraham may have seen them whipped, poked, and prodded like animals, or worse. He must have seen the emotions in the eyes of those who were brave enough to lift them: terror, helplessness, eager, the fear of the unknown. In their fallen countenances, he must have read untold stories of betrayal and torture and degradation, of being snatched away from their families and culture to be treated cruelly. Was it these faces and tortured spirits that he saw in his mind's eye when he later led the country in a civil war, when he signed the Emancipation Proclamation? It was apparently more than he could easily bear, both emotionally and intellectually. He likely saw advertisements such as these: "I will at all times pay the highest cash price for Negroes of every description, and will also attend to the sale of Negroes on commission, having a jail and yard fitted up expressly for boarding them. Wanted. I want to purchase 25 likely Negroes between the ages of 18 and 25 years, male and female, for which I will pay the highest price in cash." He was so revolted by the scene of a mulatto girl being auctioned that he left with a deep feeling of unconquerable hate, telling his companions, "Boys, let's get away from this. If I ever get a chance to hit that thing," meaning slavery, "I'll hit it hard." If they only knew what he was destined to do. John Hanks said of the slave market that Abe's heart bled for them, and though he didn't say much, he was thoughtful and sad. However, as he became more and more angry about it, he began to be more outspoken, so much so that Hanks began to be concerned for their safety, saying, "His talk against slavery, right down there amongst it, we were afraid of getting into trouble about his talking so much, and we coaxed him with all our might to be quieter like down there, for it wouldn't do any good nohow." While the sights and sounds of New Orleans were certainly a novelty to him, he was not willing to stay there for long. After about a month, the group was ready to leave it all behind for home.